Hey guys and gals, Justin here with J Hart Metalworks, and welcome to the last video of 2020. Every year on Facebook, I do a post that generally it's my year in review post where I go through all my kits and I post videos of everything I built for the year. And I was kind of back and forth on whether or not I was going to do this as a video, but I saw Tim do his video from Throttle Power, and he's got some great builds on his channel. So if you're not subscribed to Tim, by all means go check Tim out. That's Throttle Power. But yeah, so back on track, Justin. So this is going to be a review of what I built. I would like to thank all of my subscribers and my viewers. This has been a whole new experience starting a YouTube channel. I did start my channel this year. I've met a bunch of awesome people doing this, made some really good friends, and honestly, the people that I've met through here have helped me through, kind of a rough year. It's been a rough year. 2020's been rough. Again, thank each and every one of you. I do try to respond to all my comments, and I do that because I get a sense of community in my comments section. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get on to our first build of the year. Real quick, I'm going to take just a moment to apologize for the video quality. I do film using my cell phone camera, and for some reason Samsung's camera is just doing some real strange stuff with like the white balance and some of the color and contrast and whatnot. It's kind of weird. I'm going to try and fix some of this in post-production. If I can't, then I'm very sorry. Alright, our first build for 2020 was the Lotus Esprit Sport 300 by Monogram. Lotus is one of my favorite car manufacturers, and the Esprit is one of my favorite cars. And my favorite car by Lotus is the Elise. If anybody ever makes like an 05 Elise, I will absolutely have to have that kit. So this is, the color is Yamaha Deep Purplish Blue Metallic from Zero Paints. And I believe this is Zero Paints 2K Clear. Our engine bay and the sunroof come off. There we go. So we get a little better look at the engine bay, which we'll have a much better look at it here in a second. The way I've got this kit built, I did not glue the chassis into the body, so I can remove the body. And you can get a real good shot of the chassis, all the engine work. I, of course, wired up the spark plugs. I scratch built the distributor for it. Sorry, I keep bumping the... So I'm going to scratch built the distributor here. I completely rebuilt rear shocks. I kept the tops and the bottoms, and the actual shock itself is piano wire and aluminum tubing with some ballpoint pin springs. Also on this kit, the front suspension is absolutely atrocious. So I actually rebuilt almost the entire front suspension. I rebuilt the front springs. The upright for the suspension is all rebuilt from aluminum tubing. The cross arm, which is actually the steering rack, is all aluminum tubing and piano wire and custom built. And I did that, part of the reason I did that was to be able to move the mount points for the wheels up higher on these points Yeah, I did end up rebuilding from scratch the front suspension, and because I was able to move the mount points higher on the upright, it allowed the car to sit lower, and it kind of fixed that front end quite a bit. With just the stock, the ride height is more like that, which is just way ungodly too high. These are some aftermarket wheels, and I forget which wheels they are, but they came out really, really nice. I used my Space Circle Cutter to, and in fact, it was one of the first real major uses for my Space Circle Cutter, was to mask off the wheels for this car so that I could two-tone them and do them in the gunmetal with that polished aluminum outer rings. I almost want to say they're hobby design, but I'm not certain. Added some seatbelts in there. Added the Lotus logos on the hood rests, on the seat rests. I am very pleased with how that one came out. This is another build that predates the channel. I was gonna do a video on this one, but I couldn't do a video until I gave it to the recipient because it was a surprised gift. I shot all the video, I just never edited it and made a video for it, so I'm going to reuse that footage here. This is the Aoshima 1/12 scale Harley Davidson Road King. This was built as a surprise gift for a good friend of mine named Kevin. I got as close as I could to replicating his bike Saphira. Now the Aoshima kit is an older model, so I did get a hold of a 1/12 scale Maisto, which had a black edition of the newer bike, and I cut some parts off of it and had to repaint those to make them match. I did get the Milwaukee 8 air cleaner, the mirrors, and the brakes from that kit. I can't think if I got anything else from it or not. I had to do a lot of scratch building on this one. This kit doesn't have the backrest, so I had to make that with some milliput and jewelry wire for the frame. Also using milliput, I made his phone case that sits on the gas tank and the small pouch that sits back behind the handlebars. I had to make the kickstand from scratch as I snapped the kit one in half. I had to scratch build his ape hanger handlebars, as the kit comes with just the regular handlebars. His speakers that sit on that crossbar, and the foot pegs. I wired the spark plugs and the battery. I ran the brake lines and the clutch cable. Now, in order to get the brake lines and the clutch cable right, I know nothing about bikes. So I went to Texas Harley Davidson up here in Bedford, and they were extremely helpful. When I told them what I was doing, I was building a bike for a model for a friend of mine. The sales guy dude was like, "F yeah, let's get you a bike to get you some pictures." They pulled the bike out and let me just take all the reference pictures that I wanted it could possibly take, so I could get all that done and get it done correctly. They're like, "Is there anything else we can do for you?" So they were Bedford Harley was awesome. What else did we do? We also did the scratch built his get back whip and a drumstick, which he keeps mounted to one of his handlebars in remembrance of a friend of his. This is my first time doing decals, make my own decals. I ended up making his actual license plate, his toll tag, the windshield sticker for a local band that he follows called Rebel Yell. They're a Billy Idol tribute band. They're actually really good too. I made a Phoenix logo to go on the back of his seat, as his wife's biker name is Phoenix. I had to do I think it's a 102 on the air cleaner, because the kit that I took it from, the black edition, had the air cleaner in black with just a chrome stripe with the 102 in black, and that's completely reversed of what it needs to be. So I had to respray the air cleaner chrome with a black gloss stripe in there, and I had to make the 102 to go on there. And just to make this whole build more complicated, I also decided to wire the headlight, the tail light, and the LEDs under the gas tank. I actually hid the LEDs for the tank inside the tank itself and sprayed the inside silver so the light would bounce around in there and then come out the bottom. I ran wires back to the saddlebags. The right saddlebag has the on-off switch in it, and the left saddlebag actually holds a coin cell, the round coin cell battery in there. I think this was a great build. It was a great build for a very good friend. Next up, we have the Jaguar XJ220 by Tamiya. The paint on this is Ferrari Verde Zeltwig by Zero Paints, with the Zero Paints 2K clear. This is the first kit that I did a YouTube video on. Next we have our Earth Defense Force patrol cruiser from the space battleship Yamato. This is by Bandai. It's a fun little quick build. My sister and her boyfriend brought this over. He asked me if I wanted to build one. Our next kit is the Ford GT by Tamiya. And this was built with the Hobby Design Detail Up kit. If you're going to build this kit, I highly recommend the Hobby Design Detail kit. It makes the meshes much, much better. The paint on this car, I want to say, is McLaren Purple Pearl with some Tamiya. I forget the LP number, but it's the Tamiya LP's Pearl Clear over the Purple Pearl, and then Zero Paints 2K over all of that. This is another one of those really small Bandai Space Battleship Yamato kits. This is, in fact, actually the Yamato. I don't have this one, as this one was actually for my sister's boyfriend after seeing my patrol cruiser that he gave me. He brought me a patrol cruiser and a Yamato to do for him. So since I don't have any video, I'll just do a quick slideshow of some of the shots that I took while I was making it. This one was really quick. It was like a 24-hour build. I've never built anything in 24 hours before. Alright, here we have the Porsche 928 S4 by Italeri. It's painted in Porsche Arena Red by Gravity Colors. And it was my first use of their 2K clear. Another first on this car were these gorgeous wheels from Fugu Garage. These are my first, but definitely not my last Fugu Garage wheels. And the final completed build for 2020 was the Porsche 356 Carrera Cabriolet. This is the Fujimi Enthusiast kit. This was a buddy build with my good friend and brother from another mother, Sean, from the Scale Model Car Guy channel. If you have not seen Sean's channel, I encourage you to go check him out. He does some great stuff over there. He did the coupe and I did the cabriolet. The thought process behind this was that the owner of the 928 also wanted a 356, but he kind of wanted a speedster. But he found this and instead did a whole bunch of modifications to it, as I've done a lot of modifications as well. And that's going to be a wrap for 2020. With the exception of the Lotus and the Harley, I didn't go into a whole lot of detail. This is just a quick review of the builds that I did over the past year. With the exception of the Lotus and the Harley and the Yamato, everything else has video series with playlists that start with the unboxing and go all the way through. So I cover much more detail, on the mods and things that I use, the paints that I use, stuff like that. So if you've got questions or anything you really want to see more of, feel free to go back through the channel and, find the playlist and just go through it. Again, I would like to thank all of my supporters, everyone who's watched my videos, my subscribers, everyone who comments in the comment section. I appreciate it greatly. I appreciate and love the way you guys interact with me on all my videos. it really feels like we have a community here it's a great group of guys, and I appreciate everything. You all have made my first year in YouTube a wonderful experience. Here's to 2021. Hopefully it will be better than 2020. As always, guys, thanks for watching. Keep modeling and have a great day.